Let's start out by talking about this psalm text that we're recording. It's the first psalm.
Yes, it's the first psalm, and I wrote this many, many years ago. It was simply my desire to express that side of me which maybe not coming out in the chamber music or the music for solo instrument with such a text that would be sung by many. And I think it might be quite a powerful piece, and it has never been performed. Maybe it was too difficult for the ordinary chorus. Anyhow, this is about my only piece that was not performed.
This is an interesting piece because it is for a cappella choir.
No, it's choir and either piano or organ.
Piano or organ.
Yes.
And it's in English.
Yes.
Why did you choose to write it in English as opposed to the original Hebrew?
I don't know Hebrew, and therefore I wrote it in English. I have had a little book of psalms, and this particular psalm appealed to me, and that's why this came about.
Have you written any other psalm texts?
No.
That's the only one?
That's the only one, yes. I've written other choral music, haiku settings for chorus, and maybe some children's choruses. But this is the most, this is my longest piece, I believe. I think it's about 17 minutes or so.
And how is it based upon, I mean, what harmonic...
What harmonic language, yes. At that time, I came from tonal music. In other words, as probably all children learn harmony and counterpoint, you learn to model right what sounds then like bad Beethoven or bad Schumann or something like that. And you develop the language by the influences, listening to other composers. Of course, then I didn't know this, but I had at this point when I wrote the psalm, I was a composer of tonal music with extended harmonies. So it's quite dissonant, the piece, in the chordal structures, but it's in E major, basically, even written with 4 sharps, which people didn't do anymore at that time, but it is perhaps a little bit of a modal kind of melodic structure.
But extended tonality.
Extended tonality, yes. And later on, not much later than that, I got interested in 12-tone music. I felt you have to do these things, and I became very interested. I studied piano with Edward Steuermann and later Roger Sessions, and I came to know music of a different style. But it's probably the same music I wrote before, only with a different technique, and I still do that. And my music is basically lyrical, but also maybe dramatic. It depends, you know, what the piece is.
There is a school of thought that would say there's no such thing as atonal music.
Yeah.
Would you?
I would say that, yes. In my music, there are tonal centers. Well, it depends how you use the technique. And I still like very much the background of the tonal music, and I can shake it actually. So my atonal or 12-tone music is not that of Schönberg or other composers who are very dissonant in a way that is often criticized, unfortunately, you know, by newspaper critics, being a gray music. That I don't think mine is. My music is, I would say, colorful. I'm sorry to somehow, this shouldn't sound like bragging, but since we have no tape here where you can hear the music, I'll explain just a little bit what I think my music sounds like.
This psalm is representative, you would say, in general, of your music.
Yes, it's one of 2 pieces or 3 pieces of that period, the 1950s, which I still like to hear and like other people to hear.